Greetings again. Welcome to Business Chronicles yet again. My name is Solomon Tumwesigye. I'm one of your hosts here at Studio 84. And Studio 84 is a podcast studio space set up to facilitate people, individuals, and organizations tell their stories, and along the way position themselves as authorities at what they do, because we believe that everyone has a story to tell and is an authority at something. Today I am have the honor and privilege, and I'm blessed to host a lady who does a business that is typically reserved for men, I dare say.
Solomon.
I have seen her in action at her store, and it's something. I will, like most of my guests, all of them. I don't want to do an injustice, so Annette, I'll let you introduce yourself. Please introduce yourself to our viewers and listeners, and tell us, what you do.
Thank you, Solomon. Good afternoon once again. I'm happy to be here, of course, and I am Annet Irankunda. I'm known as the cement lady, meanwhile, if you didn't know that.
I told you.
Lady. Yes. I run a hardware business.
Yeah.
It's called A&A Hardware Center. We supply construction materials.
Yes.
Construction is a very big sector.
Yes.
But I normally supply anything with construction.
Yes.
That's cement, the steel products, the plumbing materials, the painting materials, the roofing materials, with those other details to do with construction. That's what we do.
Yes.
We've done this for the last 9 years.
Wow.
So we are experts in this industry. And as you said, it's a male-dominated industry, but we are also doing it as women, and we are happy to be doing the same thing. Yes, thank you for hosting me once again.
First time I met Annette was at her store, A&A Hardware. She was in, I remember the picture. You're in a white overcoat, jumping over nails and all that stuff.
Yes.
Trying to serve your customers.
I love jumping over them all the time, honestly. I do that every day.
Yeah, because it feels like you're jumping over money right there.
Over
Annette,
dollars.
I have to ask.
Yes.
How did you end up in that business? And why hardware? Why construction materials?
Wow, that's a good question, I would say. And it takes me back to my background. Initially, I was working with the Embassy of Japan. And I went to work on one morning. In the evening, I didn't have a job. I was fired. So, but it was, of course, a tough moment. I remember I had a very young family. My last born was 5 months that time. And so, this way the world can shut on you. But I'm a believer in God. I trust God. And I know He always has good plans for us. So for me, that has always been my belief and my way of doing things, that everything happens for a purpose for those who love the Lord.
Yes.
So when I lost a job, I had to think beyond. I'm not this person who can sit home and wait for milk from my husband. I believe that I also have to work and I add something on the table. So when I lost this job, but even when I was working, I had worked there for 8 years. Even when I used to do a lot of hustling, selling this, selling. I come from a business family. My parents were business people. So I had those other things to work on. So I would sell those small things, run ABCD, the earrings, the perfumes. I used to do that in office. And people can believe in us before we believe in ourselves. Do you know that?
All the time.
Yes. So my workmates would say, but Annette, you can do better. You can do better. So in those 8 years, I would think big. I would dream big. Like when I grow up, I want to be ABCD. So I used to think that when I grow up, I don't know how old I was that time, I wanted to become a big business lady in the industry.
Yes.
And I had so many dreams. I had so many ideas. I had I wanted to do a supermarket. I wanted to do a pharmacy. I wanted to do a forex bureau.
Yes.
And also hardware. So when I lost that job, I went back to my drawing board. Actually, I even used to have a boutique in town, but it wasn't my passion. It
What?
closed in a month.
What haven't you done? Annet?
Nothing. I've done everything, I think. So when I went into this boutique, which I used to have, I would come back with headache every day. It would stress me a lot. You know how ladies, you can take our time on things. By the time a lady buys a dress, it's a lot of work.
Yes.
And so it would stress me. Of course, I think it also wasn't my passion, really. I would say I found myself doing it as well, of having an extra income. So after 1 month, I had to close the business. Remember, I didn't have a job. Even the business I had, I was closing it.
Yes.
And then I went the other 4 big dreams of businesses. Cutting the story short, out of the 4, the hardware was number 1.
Wow.
Whether it was male-dominated, whether I didn't care, but it's what I had wanted to do. I wanted something that would give me some extra time for my family, for myself. So it made sense to me when I looked at, I had to invest in all these other businesses to come up with the hardware. And I was really green in this business. I had no knowledge. I had no idea. I didn't know that we had this cement 1, cement 2, cement 3, cement 4, all those things I didn't know them. I even know that we have different sizes of nails.
Cement is cement. It's either Hima or
No,
Tororo.
it's more than that, Solomon. There are 4 types of Toro cement, meanwhile. And you use, I don't know which one you use. That will be another topic for another day. So basically, I went to the industry. I was willing to learn. I was vulnerable.
Yeah.
I consult the experts. Some people are there willing to help us. There's this lady, she runs a hardware as well. She really nurtured me. She mentored me. She was so open to me, and I'm ever grateful to her. So when you are willing to learn, there are people willing to teach you.
Yes.
And I'm happy even this time I've also been there. I've been able to mentor some people in the same business.
So good.
So I would say I'm not an expert, but I've learned in the last 8-9 years doing this business. It's a good business. It's doable. It's manageable, but you have to put in the work.
The work.
Yes, the work is there. And I cannot ask for more. If you tell me it means you can do, I only tell you hardware. It's what I know, and I'm still willing to learn. I'm still investing myself in the business. And I'm telling you, there has been growth over the last 9 years.
What kind of work were you doing at the Japanese
I
embassy?
was an administration.
You are in admin.
Yes.
What did you study?
I studied the Bachelor of Arts at Macquarie University.
Bachelor of Arts.
Yes.
So here's the thing. Okay. I picked something from your background. You mentioned that you used to hustle a lot, sell this and that and so on. Would you say that how we are raised as children, or how we raise our children in practice, kind of to some degree overrides the things they learn formally in school? Because I've had many people sit in that chair, go study one thing, come back and end up practicing something they do something, end up doing something they practiced as children and growing up. That's what I picked from your background, because you started Bachelor of Arts, you tried employment, it didn't work out, you came back and you ended up on the hustle again, which basically almost back to where it all started from.
Yes, actually, I wouldn't say it is partly. We are what we are brought up when we are growing up.
Wow.
For me, that is what I can say. I remember my mom used to do a lot of businesses. We used to work with her. She used to run a restaurant in my village in Ixtoro. She used to sell so many things. I remember her selling fish, and I was always her backbone. I was actually her favorite child, because I used to keep her money so well. So,
ladies and gentlemen, I have another self-aware guest who
yes,
knows that they were a favorite child.
By the way, when you grow up is when you know these things. When you have those
much
moments,
later in life.
Yes, when you have those me moments, like when you sit and then you look back, remember these things, and you're like, I think my mom, my parents, they nurtured me from the beginning. So I didn't know that. I came to know them at of recent is when I discovered myself that, I think my mom loved me so much, and she nurtured me in business. So I wouldn't say, as you sit and you look back at those memories, where you are, the journey you've taken, you start discover who you are, how you've been brought up, and you are who you are now because of the way you're brought up.
Yes, man, I agree with you entirely, because I can even remember two people in our past episodes here at Business Chronicles. I interviewed a fashion designer recently who said that growing up, he was taught how to stitch by his mother. He used to watch his mother make tablecloths, these growing up, and that's what he ended up doing. Another person was, I think, Dr. Love Hillary or something about porridge or something like that. So this has just occurred to me that if you're a parent and you're out there, be careful what your children are watching you doing.
Yes.
Because that may be what they end up doing in life. Forget what you're sending them to school to study.
Yes.
I feel that's important. So, do tell me, what has your journey been like in this, I dare say, male-dominated space that you also acknowledged? What was it like the first days?
The first days were so many mistakes. I made mistakes that I cannot forget them. One of the things I remember, there's an item I bought at around, it was approximately around 7,000. I remember saying it at 2,500. Like you are into something and then you're excited to sell. A customer comes, you feel you have arrived, you want to make this cast that you don't even think of the price you bought.
Yes.
So it's something I can never forget. I even remember the face of this customer.
Are they still your customer?
Yes, he's still my customer. Even came back for another same product, same price.
Same price.
I cannot forget. I cannot forget. So I remember, I wanted to be big.
Yes.
Big business person.
Yeah.
So even when I was starting, I made many mistakes. So because I wanted to be big, I made long stockings.
Yes.
When you're starting, you start small, right? Me, I started big.
Big.
So all the money I had
was it just
disappeared.
made the loss, yes.
I had stock, people not buying it because people take time to trust you to buy from you.
That's true.
It takes a lot of time, patience. People think maybe you're out of the blue and you want to steal them, maybe have wrong products on the market, maybe you steal them. So they keep watching you. So you see, even going to the neighbor to buy, you're like, why can't they buy from me? So whoever would walk in, I would want to handle them like a glass.
Yes.
So I made many mistakes, but it was for me, it was a learning experience. I was learning. I paid school fees for that.
I like that.
Yes,
Annette.
it was school fees.
Real school fees.
Yes, it was school fees, because over and above, after like a year, I got better. I stabilized the business, and I would say the rest is history. There has been growth. The question about the male domination, I think it's all about the mindset.
Yeah.
God created us the same. We can do the same. What a man can do, a man can do. It's just sometimes women, we tend to despise ourselves, but it's all about how you handle yourself, or how you want, what you want to be is what you become. So for me, the men are there, but even women are there, and they're equally thriving as men. So for me, that is no excuse that it's a male-dominated industry. We even have engineers now; they are doing very well as engineers. Have female plumbers. For me, I feel that women, we are capable. Actually, they even do better work than men. You'll be okay.
Now you're pushing it. And then I want to first stay around there. For a young person, maybe not necessarily young in age, but for someone who wants to get into the building materials business, what we typically call a hardware, what advice would you give them? What mistakes, apart from pricing, apart from starting small, what would you tell a young person who has, we get many people, what business can I invest in? You swear by that business.
Yes.
So how would you advise someone who is trying to enter the industry?
One, you must have a reason why you're entering that industry.
Yeah.
If you're going there for money, you may fail.
Yes.
Because the industry has many temptations.
Yes.
So you must go there willing to serve people. For me, I believe that when you go there willing to serve, to make a difference in the market, you definitely succeed. Then too, you must give it your time.
Yes.
You know, these days we have the things you can do online. It's okay, but something like a hardware, it is a pleasant hardware. We must be pleasant, especially when you're starting it.
Yes.
You must understand there are so many dynamics in the industry. There are so many small products we sell. So you must understand that by the time you start delegating, you know everything on your fingertips. The systems are there, but you don't start with the systems when you're starting. They are there, they are good, but you must be pleasant. And also honesty is very important in this industry. You know, because we are dealing with many people, there's third parties here. Someone will come and say, I want this price, you quote this, write this. You know, there are those things
All
are
sorts
there.
of practices.
Yes, they are there. So you must be honest, you must be open. And because those have so many products, have the good products, the low quality products, you must be willing to give the client the information. So give someone, this is this does this, then the person can decide what they are going to take. So for me, I believe when you're starting, have a reason why you're starting, give it time, be present in your business. But I would say it is a good business, all in all.
I like it. Passion is everything, because at some point on the journey in business, things will get rough,
Yeah, true.
and that's more or less guaranteed. And the only thing that will keep you going is how passionate you are at what you do.
Yes.
That's what you will fall back to at many times along this journey.
True.
I know you started when you started big. You didn't want to be, you started big.
Very big.
And then you lost a bit of money, calmed down, humbled yourself. What's the future looking like? I mean, or are you already as big as you ever dreamed of being?
Not, of course, I'm not yet there,
Yeah.
but I think I know where I'm going now.
Yeah.
The structure is very clear for me. The plan is very clear. I know in the next 5 years I'll be a different, to be a different space, to be a different business, same business, but there must be something different. That whoever comes there will say, yeah, this is where Annet has come from.
Yeah.
And I want to have a business that is now independent, where I work on the business, not in the business.
Yes.
So I'm into that kind of the growth. It's called scaling stage.
Yes.
Where it's scaling, and you need to be in charge. You need to have systems. You have to have support in all ways. So I'm into that kind of growth or scaling. And I would say at least I know where I'm heading to, and I know I have a plan. I just know that everything now is just flowing in my mind.
I like it.
Yes.
I mean, 9 years?
Yeah, 9 years.
9 years
Yes.
later, you are surely an authority in the industry.
Yes.
So here's the one thing I find interestingly challenging with your business, is that because of its nature, you tend to serve the people that are physically around you. Do you find that as a major challenge, or do you intend to overcome it? Open branches and so on. How do you intend to serve me? Because if your store is across town, I will most likely not cross town to buy a bag of cement from you.
Yes.
How do you go about that typically in your business?
As we said from the beginning, I think we've built relationships with our customers. And maybe I can give an example. There's a customer I worked on some years back, and recently she was having another project out of town along Hoima Road.
Yes.
Trust me not, she's buying things from me and taking them the other side.
Wow.
Because a relationship has been
built and nurtured. Yes.
If we have a reason why you should buy from Annet, you may not be affected by maybe the location, by it is just because we've walked a journey with you. And for me, that is my satisfaction. Having you sleep in that house where I know I contributed, I feel extra kind of joy, energy.
Yes,
I want to be part
yes,
of that
yes.
story.
I love it.
So whenever I'm with someone, I'm like, this house, oh, you see that building? I'm the one who built it. It's as if I'm the one sleeping in the house. So it is good. Customers are going to come, but how do they leave you? Do they have a reason of coming back to your hardware? Do they have a reason of coming back in this studio? So for me, I believe in that kind of relationships. Let's cultivate deeper relationships in our businesses. If you don't come because you're far, you send someone
Yes.
who is near. And you also say, we deliver all where you are. And it's possible because I've worked it, I've seen it working, and it happens. Yes.
I like it, Annette. Lastly, you and I, Annette, had a brief conversation about, many things, but one thing stuck out: parenting, raising children in the business. Are your children working with you in the business? How are you involving them? How are you introducing them to the hustle already?
Well, I have 4 children. I think you know that.
Yeah.
And my firstborn is a senior 4 now. So, of course, the academics these days has taken another direction, that pressure coach. But wherever they are available, they work with me and I pay them. Yes, I pay them. But when I'm paying them, it goes on their pocket money.
I see what you're doing there.
Yes. So you have this money. Or even if they want something, maybe they want some MBs.
That contributes.
It contributes. There's one, my son bought for himself a phone through his savings. So to me, that makes a lot of sense. And like when they go to school, they say, Mommy, I'm saving towards this. Oh, I'm like, okay. So I think we should, if we have a business, we should involve our children. Because for me, looking back, if it was not my mom and my parents doing business, I don't think I would be the hustler woman you're seeing out there.
Yes.
So I think we should lead by example, and the kids, what they see is what they become.
Yes.
Yeah.
What they see.
So they are basically involved in the business. The other side did my son who is asking, Mom, I need money. Let me go to work at a shop. So I want to go to the workshop so I can get money. I'm like, what do you want to buy? So you keep on engaging them, and you also even when you pay them, you must know what is that money going to do. So, and I remember I have a deal with my son. When he finishes senior 4, he's going to be a full-time worker. I'm going to give him a full responsibility so that he can get more engaging in the business. Yes.
Very important, Annette. Annette, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for hosting me.
It was very good hosting you here at Business Chronicles.
Thank you.
Our guests, our listeners and viewers, Annet Irankunda, A&A Hardware Stores. I'm also going to drop her details in the description below. If you live in the areas around Kanyanya, that area, right?
Yes. Kulambiro, Chisasi.
Chisasi, Kanyanya, Gayaza Road in Kampala.
Yes.
And A is your person. She's good. She has a very decent, well-stocked store. I've been there myself.
Thank you.
Until the next episode of Business Chronicles, I'm Solomon Tumwesigye. I'll see you on that.
Thank you so much.